When NBA players get suspended, it's always an ugly sight. They are tarnishing their reputations and hurting their teams. Franchises need their athletes to be ready at all times because you never know who's going to get traded or hurt. A deep roster is essential for any NBA team that wants to win games and be considered a title contender.
Welcome back to Sports Manic.
Before we continue, kindly hit that notification button to be notified when we post new videos. Alright, let's dive in. Earlier this season, we witnessed a brawl between LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart during a game between the Lakers and Pistons. As they tussled for a rebound near the free throw line, James swung his arm back and struck Stewart in the face, bloodying the Detroit big man and sending him into a rage. As a result, James was suspended for the following game, and Stewart was kicked out for 2, for escalating the situation by trying to chase LeBron around the court. Situations like this damage both teams, since Detroit wants to develop their big man by playing him, while the Lakers need James on the court to compete for a title. Suspensions are never a good thing for any team. Throughout NBA history, there have been some major suspensions that have impacted not just teams, but in some cases the entire league. So without further ado, here are the 10 longest player suspensions in NBA history. Hedo Turkoglu. Hedo Turkoglu, one of the most gifted European players of his generation, was suspended for 20 games by the NBA. The Turkish forward got caught using steroids in 2013. Hedo was using methanolone to recuperate from a lingering shoulder issue. Rather than researching league-approved treatments, Turkoglu took a chance and it backfired spectacularly. Turkoglu accepted full responsibility for his conduct and agreed that it was not the best decision he could have made for himself or his team, the Orlando Magic. He claimed that he did not check methanolone against the NBA's list of prohibited substances. The 2013 season marked the beginning of the end for Hedo, who would play just 2 more seasons with the LA Clippers before retiring at the age of 35. Jeff Taylor. Taylor showed signs of being an excellent role player, despite not ever looking like a starter during his career. In his second season, Taylor averaged a career-high 24.2 minutes per game, while putting up 8 points and 2.3 rebounds per game. He was too small to play power forward, but was built like a small forward, so he could be useful in the modern NBA. Unfortunately for him, Taylor's domestic abuse incident contributed to his NBA demise. He currently plays for Real Madrid in Spain. Jodie Meeks. Jodie Meeks was picked 41st overall by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2009 NBA draft, but was sent to the Philadelphia 76ers during his rookie season. Meeks, a sharpshooting guard, averaged 37.3% from 3 over his career and had 4 seasons in which he shot better than 40% from 3. Meeks had a respectable NBA career as a role player for teams like the 76ers, Lakers, and Pistons. However, Meeks was suspended for 25 games in 2018 after violating the NBA's anti-drug protocol. Meeks tested positive for illegal chemicals related to growth hormones. He denied the allegations publicly, but was unable to persuade the NBA and was suspended for a portion of the 2018 season before being traded and subsequently dismissed. Fortunately, Meeks was a member of the Raptors' 2019 championship team, so he closed out his career on a high note. Kermit Washington. Washington received a huge fine and a 28-game suspension after throwing a punch at Rudy Tomjanovich's face in front of the referees during a brawl back in 1977. Washington's suspension really hurt the Lakers and their Showtime era, but Rudy got the worst of it, coming away from that incident with a serious injury. Steven Jackson. Steven battled with them if necessary. Unfortunately, the adversaries turned out to be the fans in the stands. Jackson charged the crowd to help Artest fight off enraged spectators, horrifying NBA Commissioner David Stern. Despite believing in his ideas and acting in self-defense on occasion, Jackson was wrong to run into the stands, and attacking supporters is a disaster by any league standard. The small forward suspension helped unravel the talented Indiana Pacers squad, as seen in the documentary Untold: Malice at the Palace. Javaris Crittenton. Javaris Crittenton's story is one of the saddest in NBA history. The Los Angeles Lakers selected the 6'5" shooting guard with the 19th overall pick in the 2007 NBA draft. He lasted just 2 seasons before an absurd incident with Gilbert ended his career. Crittenton's offense, like Arenas's, was bringing an unlicensed gun to work and storing it in his locker. The NBA suspended him for 38 games, nearly half a season, after he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor gun possession charges. On top of that, Crittenton was sentenced to a year of unsupervised probation, as well as community service. Javaris was not as talented as All-Star Gilbert Arenas, thus the Wizards deemed him expendable and waived him, never to return to the league. Unfortunately, this incident was a foreshadowing of things to come for Crittenton, as he would be charged with manslaughter in 2011 while serving a 23-year jail sentence. Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was one of the league's most talented and prolific scorers, and he had a chance to one day make the Hall of Fame. The Golden State Warriors selected Arenas number 31 overall, and he went on to become a three-time All-Star with the Washington Wizards, where he formed a dynamic trio with Anton Jamison and Caron Butler. Gilbert, also known as Agent Zero, was notable for his game-winning shots and his 60-point effort against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in 2006. However, Arenas is also notorious for the aforementioned gun blunder with former teammate Javaris Crittenton. After a brief investigation, Arenas was suspended without pay for breaking NBA rules, as well as local Washington, D.C. laws. Gilbert never recovered to his superstar form after that incident, because it is really difficult to bounce back when your team has given up on you. Gilbert is another what-if scenario, and his lack of foresight may have cost him a spot in the NBA Hall of Fame. Latrell Spreewell. Latrell Spreewell had an overall fantastic career. As the 24th overall pick in the 1992 NBA Draft, the 6'5" small forward made the All-Rookie team with a 15.4 points per game average and went on to make 2 All-Star teams with the Golden State Warriors. Spreewell appeared to be bound for success with his strong all-around game and offensive ability. But then, the forward did the unthinkable during his 3rd All-Star season. He attacked his head coach. An altercation erupted between Spreewell and head coach P.J. Carlesimo during practice. The NBA star attacked and strangled Carlesimo and threatened his life. This was not Latrell's first scrap with teammates. He had incidents in 1993 and 95 as well. Spreewell's 68-game suspension was a disaster for the team, and his reputation suffered greatly as a result. To make matters worse for the brilliant NBA player, Spreewell was eventually sentenced to house detention for reckless driving during his suspension. The forward would have been a legitimate All-Star for years if he'd stayed focused. His talent alone earned him a total of 4 All-Star selections in 13 seasons, and he could have been even better. Ron Artest. Ron Artest, one of the most renowned and infamous players in NBA history, was known for being a little odd. He was a true fan of the game, and his defensive prowess made him one of the most influential small forwards of his day. Artest was selected by the Chicago Bulls as the 16th pick in the 1999 NBA Draft. As a member of the Indiana Pacers, he won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2004. Artest was also named All-NBA and to his first All-Star team that season. Later in his career, Artest, now Metta World Peace, was Kobe Bryant's sidekick throughout the Lakers' 2010 championship run. But, without question, Ron Artest will be remembered for his role in the infamous Malice at the Palace. Artest flew into a rage after a bottle landed on his head, and he charged into the crowd, flinging punches at fans and inflicting some serious damage. In the process, Artest broke every NBA rule in the book, and then Commissioner David Stern made sure the forward suffered greatly for it. Stern levied huge fines, approximately $5 million in salary loss, and an 86-game suspension. Artest's punishment is the most severe ever for an on-court incident, and few could disagree that it should have been given. O.J. Mayo. Even Ron Artest's suspension did not overshadow O.J. Mayo's career-ending punishment. The shooting guard was the number 3 overall choice in the 2008 NBA Draft, and he had a lot of potential as a scorer and a sniper. He made the All-Rookie team after coming second to Kevin Durant for Rookie of the Year and averaging 18.5 points per game. While Durant was a one-of-a-kind scorer, Mayo was also displaying spurts of greatness. Memphis thought they had a rising talent on their hands. But Mayo's all-around game never improved, and he was traded twice more before his remarkable ban in 2016. Mayo admitted to taking marijuana and abusing painkillers, both of which were prohibited by the NBA. As a result, the shooting guard faced a 2-year suspension from the league, with the possibility of reinstatement during the 2019 season. Mayo was 31 years old at the time, and needless to say, he was unable to recapture the fringe all-star form he displayed early in his career. And that's all for today, folks. We hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another amazing video from us. Till next time.